Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, September 17th, and we are looking at Window Trader's market profile of SPY IWMN triple Qs. And, well, we have a lot to talk about. We'll go over all the charts of these indices. First and foremost, sellers won the week, obviously. Since last Friday, they have not been able to hold a trend day. That's interesting. We have a B shape today. But on the flip side, since last Friday, buyers have not gotten above my line in the sand, which was that last set of single prints. So, to me, nothing has changed, and the sellers are still in control. They actually closed. Now, I certainly closed in SPY below the 50-day moving average because of the dividend. ES battled it for the last 5 time frames, I through M, and finally settled below it. But we did end 9 wide. Now, one day doesn't make a market. I'm not going to say, oh no, we closed below the 50, the world's coming to an end. I'm not saying that. We'll get to the charts and see it all later. But I will tell you this, the sellers certainly keep pushing, and at some point, maybe the one-time framing on the monthly is going to end. And again, that's not a bad thing, right? To come into balance and get some of these week longs out of the market. We said we're going to be getting volatility. Now, even though we had another big range today, the range on the week is, what is the range? It's, excuse me, turned out to be just under $8. So it did stretch today. That's for sure. Excuse me. Let's go to triple Qs first. So triple Qs, well, we'll get to SPY and ES in a minute. Triple Qs open and drove straight down. And 10 wide, B shape. They go out with an afternoon rally high in G and the high in the low. Russell, look at Russell. Talk about erratic. And they were also 9 wide triple Qs. Russell and 10 wide, and that's it, high and a low. I made a new low in I, only to come all the way back in M. It's they talk about price action. Now for us, I'll say right off the bat, shame on me. We had a carbon copy basically every day this week. And not only didn't I take advantage of it, I actually battled it, and again today battled it tremendously. And that's just a function of, again, I want to take this week. I don't want to throw it out and forget about it. I have to learn from it. But I do know my mental state is still in this, not in the process of, we take out B's, A's low, boom, look, here we go. I mean, those used to be my favorite trades. G, afternoon rally high, that used to be my favorite trade. Didn't take it. And I'll tell you what I did today in a minute. But this would have been, a day like this in the past for me would have been a gold mine. Because as soon as B took out A's low, and even if it pulled back, couldn't get back above where B's high, absolutely would have taken it. Same in C. But I was long by that point, and I'll get to that in a minute. And then G would have been a beautiful afternoon rally high. But I had taken a pretty large loss, and I'll go over it. I got it all back, but I'll go over it in a minute. That would have been a beautiful short, out above B's high, or even a little more above C's high. But again, I didn't do that. And I think the main reason is because I battled so much from the long side, I would have been really upset if finally the market did what it did the last couple of days. Look at this. So if I got out of my long for a loss and then they start ripping it in G back to the open, I would have really been ticked off. I'm not saying that's a good reason not to take the trade, but that's where my mindset was. So what I did was I battled my ass off the last 4 or 5 hours of the day and took over a $10,000 loss into a $130 gain after commissions. Not proud of it, but I am proud that I battled. So I bought it, again, we opened and went up. I did not buy it up here. I bought it when we came against, basically, yesterday's low the first time. And it was only a small one. And then when I went to add, instead of adding, so I had 10, I tried to add 20, I double tapped the machine, I guess. It became 40. Now I longed 50. And then when it started going down, silly me, instead of getting out, started the whole game again of trying to get it back. Again, just amateur trading on my part, right? I'm not going to be one of these people on Twitter and lie to you. And then when it rallied, I got back a bunch of my loss, but I was still down a decent amount, and I never took the short. So when we came back down again, I'm like, well, we have not been able to go trend. We're starting to get a wide POC. Even if we lower it, which we did, if we make new lows and don't go trend, I'll keep scalping some size calls. And that's what I did, and I got all my money back. Again, I'm not proud of it. Anyway, write this week off as far as P&L goes and start hopefully on Monday with a better outlook. We have the Fed next week, end of the quarter the week after. Let's go over destinations. Upside, 441.99, 9 wide. 441.99, K's high. Then we have, I didn't write the afternoon rally high. What's G's high? 443.24. So these destinations are far wide apart. So we have 441.99, 9 wide. 443.24, afternoon rally high in G. Then we don't have anything to today's high of 445.37. Then 448.36 daily high, 448.41 daily high, and 448.92 is now a weekly high. And why is that important, you may ask? Well, it's important for two real good reasons. Number one, we're one time framing down the weekly's down. So if buyers have any hope of getting back into this game, now they have to fill those single prints from the 10th because, they have to take out the weekly high first to come back into balance because the weekly high is now below those single prints of 449.39 to 49. Keep that in mind. For the downside, we have today's low, which is a weekly low of 441.02. End period, as you can see, has been trading lower. Then we don't have anything to 439.71 daily low, 437.46 afternoon pullback low from the 19th, 436.12 weekly low, and 436.10 monthly low, and then another 435.99 weekly low, and then filling a gap at 435.72, a 27-point gap. So let's go to the charts. Start with Russell. Nothing's changed in the Russell as far as the monthly, right? It's in a 6-month balance. March's high and low is total balance. The one thing it did do was take out last month's high, which is an inside month, and so far has failed. Balance. Weekly. We had gone up. We came into balance last week. Now I'm calling it down. So right now, the weekly is down. They're going to have to take out last week's high to stop that. So, monthly is balanced, weekly is down. Daily. And by the way, on the weekly, one time, the next target on the weekly is 217.44. We got as low as 219.07, but boy, did it rally late in the day. And then on the daily, look at this. This looks like an earthquake hit with the way this thing is trading. On the daily, firmly in balance. Look at this battle between the 20 and the 50-day moving average. And they had an inside day. Again. Remember, they had one 2 days ago. They came out of it to the upside and did nothing with it late. So we have a 3-day balance. Actually, call a 4-day balance. I would use a 4-day balance. So 223.77 you want to get above. And on the downside, 219.07. That's your balance. It's not a big one, believe it or not. It's only $4.70. It's not big. So that's who's going to win it. We'll see. Inside day could help on Monday. Let's go to the Qs. Nothing's changed in the monthly. One time framing up. This is month 4. It's healthy. Weekly. Had an outside week down. That was balance. And now we're down. So monthly's up. Weekly's down. Now, did it do a great job with an outside week down? Not really. 376.25 was the low last week. We got as low as 372.76. So sellers really didn't get a lot. But we are back to down in the weekly, and the target on the downside is 368.79 unless we take out this week's high at some point. So monthly up, weekly down. Daily. This is a tough one. Again, this is because it's an art. You can say it's a 4 or 5 day balance, or because we came out of this 4 days and closed below it, you can call it down. 373.37 was the other low of that balance. I mean, I think I'd still call it balance because we stretched it, but we got back into it. So I think I would still call the daily balance. So I would call the monthly up, weekly down, daily balance. Now let's go to SPY and ES. Now remember, there's a disconnect because of the dividend, but it's not going to change the chart that much. The profile, yes, on a daily basis, not the chart. The monthly is up. Now we have 9 days left in this trading month. We are getting pressure from sellers. The worst thing that buyers could see, it's one thing to stop the one-time framing up in the monthly, but the worst thing that could happen is to see an outside month down after all this good feeling, right? Now, for that to happen, we have to take out last month's low, which we're $5 above, and close below it. Now, we have the Fed next week. You have the end of the quarter on the 30th. So I expect this volatility to keep up. We have 115 million shares on the tape today. So good volume. So even though the monthly is healthy, we have to keep in mind that the possibility of taking out last month's low and having an outside month down is in the cards. Possibly. Weekly is firmly down now. Right? We went up. We came into balance last week. Now we're down. Next target is 436.12, which is 2 cents above the monthly's high. That's a little bit of an issue there. 433 million shares on the tape. Who won the week? Sellers did. We weren't down a lot. We're down $4.34, but that's because of the dividend. If we put the dividend back in, you're only down $3, so not a big deal. However, sellers won the week, and how do you know? Look at the volume, 433. Look at the up volume 4 weeks ago, 269. Look at the volume at the all-time high, 246. So last week we came into balance, 255. That wasn't a lot of volume, but now we finally go down, and boom, 433 million. Oh, that was also Labor Day, so you only had 4 days. So, again, it's amazing how volume picks up. So anyway, monthly up, weekly down, daily down, below the 50-day moving average, both in SPY and ES. Now, real quickly, because I know this video is getting a little long, but I hope you guys learn from it, from my mistakes, and hopefully from my breakdowns of these charts and everything. So we closed below the 50-day moving average back on March 4th. Back on March 5th. This is this year. I'm looking where else. June 18th. That's 3 days so far. June 21st, that's 4. And today. This is only the 5th time we've closed below the 50-day moving average. Now, we spoke about this being a very crowded trade. Oh boy, is it crowded. Now, a lot of longs got out that were underwater for the last 3-4 weeks, no doubt, and shorts push in. But I guarantee you, there's still people thinking, okay, we're going to hold this. Now, we've never spent more than 2 days below the 50-day moving average. Look, back in March. March, and then again in June. So, here's where the worry comes in for the monthly. If this crowded trade fails this time, you're going to take out the monthly low, and then we have to see if we close below it. I could also see a scenario, because this market is pretty interesting, to rip down, take out the monthly low, but then come back into it and end up closing the month above the 50. In fact, I might put that out there, that I might like that. as maybe my best scenario. That we take out last month's low, we don't have an outside month down, and we close above the 50. I can see that happen. I think that's the more logical trade, the way this market's acted this year. Now, if I'm wrong and we close below last month's low and below the 50, well, then we're going to go see the 419, 421 level. That's the next monthly low, and it's a poor low. So if we don't do what I'm saying I think is better odds of doing, well, then you're certainly going to go test the previous month's low from last month's low. Put that in the bank. So, monthly up, weekly and daily are down. I hope you figured out this market this week. Not an easy week. If you didn't do well, hang in there. If you did, God bless you. That's great. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe. And we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.